Hi everyone, welcome to the second part of this video where I am trying out my Arteza Expert 72 watercolour pencils in the back of my Moon Valley colouring book. This is a Maria Trolle book. So we've been doing a weird and wonderful plant, looking at all the different pencil colours and just playing around with them really. So we are going to continue where we left off really. So I'm going to come in closer and then move up a little. Up. Just a tad like that. Now the centre of this flower we haven't yet done, so that's going to be my next move. Now what I want is a really vibrant yellowy orange, and I'm thinking the Tuscan sun is probably what I'm looking for. There it is. I'm going to sharpen it and then I'm going to put down a really generous amount because I want it to be really vibrant. And when I add the water, it might fade it unless I put down a fair few layers. Oops, it doesn't want to go down very well. There we go. I'm pressing a bit hard. This is still wet. Never mind. So there we go. I'm going to wet that now because I'll forget otherwise. I'm just going to blob it a bit so it doesn't take too much off, and I also don't spread it. A lot came off actually. It doesn't spread it. So there's that one. I don't know how. I don't think it's particularly vibrant in the camera, and it is to my eye. So I don't know. We're going to do this leaf next. We've been doing a lot of the greens. We've used lots of greens already. This is the emerald green. Okay, I'm going to use it for the darker part of this leaf. Let's give it a sharpen. Just having a look at the colour and thinking, what's it going to match? I don't know if it is going to match any of the other greens very well. We might have to repeat maybe the mint. But let's just fade it out a bit and have a look. Actually, might mix it with a light blue. Yes, you heard me. I'm trying to play with your mind. Let's just mix it with the red, it'll be fine, no one will notice. No, I'm joking. Let's have a look. I am thinking I'm going to try the turquoise. Where's that? So it's not really a blue, it's a sort of bluey green colour. It's quite bluey. But it's just trying to try out as many colours as I can. And when we've got so many leaves, we've got to be a little bit open-minded, I think. There we go. So let's get our water on here and see what happens. I did ask my husband in between videos if he could recommend a technique for spreading the paint nicely using a water pen, and he said, I never figured that out. Oh, cheers. But he said, I think a lot of people just take the colour off the pencil with the nib of the water pen, and I'm like, that's fair enough, but why not just use a block of paint if you're going to do that way? I don't know. Anyway, this leaf now. We could go. I'm going to do this one in brown. Let's start with the greeny brown if I can get it out of the box. Let's just move those pencils away. This is the coyote brown. Coyote, sorry. Can't speak. Oops. I'm getting distracted by the fact that my dryer is beeping. And I'm wondering if anyone's going to go down and do it. Because the husband was sort of in charge of the washing this morning. But I don't know if he can hear it. Or whether he can hear it and he's just procrastinating. So again, I'm just putting more here. And then just sort of spreading it towards the edge, making it lighter as I go. and then it will blend into our other colour, which I'm trying to decide on. I think I know what I'm going to do. Beep, beep. I doubt you can hear it. I'm going to use the camel brown. So it's really definitely going to be a brown leaf. I quite like this colour, this camel brown. So it's almost an ochre. I've broken it. So I'm using the same technique for all the leaves, which I think is a good idea when using so many different colours, because otherwise I think it'll get a bit really sort of muddly messy, you know. At least there's something that's constant across the page. I'm just going to sweep that off a bit. There we go. Now where's my water brush gone? Here we go. Where's my brain gone? It's not quite so wet as it was when I did the flower. It's definitely still wet there. There we go. Just want to gently brush it towards the edge. Seems to be working quite well. It's a nice colour, isn't it? Right, just scribble that on some scrap paper. I'm going to go and sort the washing out. Right, I am back. Now, I'm just thinking about this stem a little bit. I think I need to just fill this in before I sort of push everything up to do the lower parts. I think, I'm just looking at my browns, I think I'll go for the cocoa brown. It's going to be quite dark, but I just want to try it out really. So here it is, cocoa brown. I'm just going to go down here. Hopefully that feels just a bit damp under my hand. Just blend that up there a bit. Now this isn't the darkest of the browns. I didn't want it too dark. I don't know whether to go all the way down to here. I think I will. I think I'll go, yeah, that's what I'll do. Go all the way down to here with this one. Just putting a little bit more on. And then up here I use a different shade of brown. I might use the sienna brown just so that it looks really different. I know that it's going to look a little bit odd in the context of the picture, but I think it just means we can try a different one. So this is our sienna brown, so you can see it's more of a reddish brown. It's a lighter colour. Let's blend it into there, or mix it into there. Put it up here. Mix it up to that one a little bit like that and there. There we go. I'm going to wet that now too. And just blend it all up together. There we go, into there. I'm going to do this leaf next. Let's just wipe off the tip of the brush. There we go. Now, we've still got a few greens left. I might grab the, what's that colour? This is the shamrock green. It's quite bluey. Another quite bluey one, but I'm going to try something a little bit different with this one. So when I put it down, I'm just going to have a look at it really, see what sort of colour it is. It looks, to my eye, that looks completely blue. But obviously we all see colours a little bit differently, which I find quite fascinating. I mean, my husband is red-green colourblind, so he struggles a bit with colour. He will argue with us and say, look, this colour is definitely this. I'm like, you can't see it. can't see it. How can you say? I'm going to put a light layer here. You'll see what I'm doing in a minute. So actually I'm going to put a layer of this everywhere. It's going to be a little bit different, this one. So I'm going to put another colour actually on top of all of it, and then mix them with the water. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So I'm going to try and make a green using this, which is allegedly green but looks very blue. I'm going to put some yellow on it. I'm just going to have a look at the yellows. I'm going to try the sapphire yellow. It's quite a pale yellow, creamy yellow. We'll see if it works. It may not. Why not? Let's just give it a try. And what I'm going to do with this is to make it darker on the stem and the tips, but bring it all the way in so that we've got some everywhere. Just a bit more at the edges. So sort of the reverse than we were doing with the other colour, where we were putting it thicker here. I'm going to be a bit stuck as to which way I wet it, because I usually go from the darker area to the lighter area. I guess the yellow is still the lighter area, even though it's as intense, hopefully. That's the bit near the centre. There we go. Let's see what magic we can do with the brush. And just use the right end. And take a bit of that brown along. I'm sort of doing it in both directions in the end. Just trying to mix it up really. It's not mixing brilliantly. Still, to me, looks like it's blue with yellow tips, or maybe slightly greenish. I haven't got enough yellow. Those tips are definitely going greener, but this bit still looks very blue. So what I'm going to do is put a bit more yellow. Maybe I need a more vibrant yellow. I'm going to use the lemon yellow. Now this is still wet, isn't it? So I'm going to put it on top of the wet. Now I don't know what that's going to do, so I'm going to press really gently, because I'm sort of thinking maybe if the paper's wet it might be more susceptible to ripping or breaking. So I'm trying not to press too hard, but that's definitely changing to a more greeny colour, I think. But my eyes are still seeing it as blue with green on top, not blue with yellow on top, not it all mixed together. I don't know whether that's just because that I know that's what it is, or I'm just being a bit silly. So I need to put a bit more water on in a minute to just mix them better. I want to have quite a thick layer. There we go. It's better. Now I sit back and look at it, it's much better. Let's get some water on there. Just want to mix it really. I don't necessarily want to spread it as much as mix it. I don't want to spread the yellow off too much. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Looks green to me now. Okay, I'm going to move it up a bit. Oh, sorry, I hit the tripod. Hit everything flying. There we go. There. So, what should we do next? We could do this leaf next. What colours have we got left to play with? Got that one and that one. Actually, we could use those together. We're going to start with the absinthe green. No, this is the spring green. I picked up the wrong one. I don't want that one yet. We'll do that one on the next leaf, I think. This is the absinthe green. That's what I'm going to be using next on this leaf. Let's give it a sharpen. Now this isn't a particularly dark green, but we've got an even lighter one to go with this. So it's okay. It's a nice colour again. There's a lot of really pretty greens in this set. I love this one up here. I don't think you can see it. Sorry. So I'm going to put plenty down because it's quite a pale colour, and when the water gets on there it might dilute it a bit. There we go. And then the lime green, which is almost quite yellowy. Oh, there it is. Give it a sharpen. Maybe I should have sharpened them all first, but never mind. Gives you an extra minute to find yours if you're trying to colour along, I guess. So that's good. There we go. Yeah, I woke up, I was chatting to my sister this morning. She was complaining about the government. Her favourite thing to do, I think. A lot of people's favourite thing to do, to be fair. Here it is again. Apparently the Prime Minister's going to be making some sort of speech today. Seems odd to be doing it on a Sunday, but anyway. Saying that things aren't going to get any better, things are going to get worse. I'm like, that's a very odd thing to say, because who for? You know, is it going to get worse for everybody, or just some people, most people? You know, I don't know. But anyway, well, that's nice and positive, isn't it? Right, orange. We have 3 oranges. We have the blood orange, the orange, and the pumpkin orange. I'm not going to use the blood orange because it's quite reddish, and we've done a red flower, so we'll start with the orange, which is here. It's the darker of the 2 oranges, remaining oranges, let's put it that way. So I'm going to do it like I did the others, so we're just going to start in the centre and just start to taper the colour off towards the tip of the petals. I haven't decided about the centre of this one. We could do blood orange in the middle. I quite like that idea. Or you could do a yellow again like we did with the orange one, purple one. Dear. I'm just going to say menopause brain and leave it there. I saw a guy in the supermarket yesterday who he is a work colleague of husband's, and he'd had a bit of a car accident recently. Horrible, actually. He's fine, but he said, you know, he has various things and he sometimes blames it on that, but he said he doesn't know if it's that or just old age, you know. And I said, I just blame everything on the menopause. He said, oh yeah, my wife does. But you don't know, do you? I mean, I look up symptoms, and it's like everything under the sun, you know. There's all sorts of symptoms, anything. You know, can I blame it on everything? But it's an interesting one. But it does, and the thing is that when my mum had it, she took HRT for a while because the doctor advised it to protect against osteoporosis. Not that we've got it in the family or anything, fortunately, or there was any risk. It was just that was what they were doing at the time. And when she went onto the pills, her moods were absolutely fine. She was completely fine. She used to get a few night sweats, I seem to remember. A little bit of hot flushes, not many, very few. And so she wasn't really bothered at all by any symptoms. And he gave her these pills, and it really affected her temperament very badly. So, you know, and my sister rarely gets a hot flush. So I don't know why it's affected me a lot more. It's interesting. I mean, this sounds very rude, but I did read somewhere, I don't mean it to be rude at all, that said that people who have more fat tend to suffer less with menopausal symptoms because because your fat cells can release some of the hormones that you're missing, which was quite interesting. And my sister is bigger than me at the moment. Our sizes vary from time to time. I think it's true of everybody, really, you know. And so I don't know if it's that, or if it's got absolutely nothing to do with that whatsoever. I mean, she's had 4 children, 4 pregnancies, and I've only had 1 pregnancy with twins, so that could have some sort of impact. It could be to do with our diet. You know, she's a vegan, I'm not. We eat different sorts of foods. She isn't as far through her menopausal stage as me, if you know what I mean. So that could have an impact. It might be that it's coming for her. That sounds, it's coming for you, you know. Is this the pumpkin orange? Now, I always thought pumpkin orange would be darker, but this is a lighter orange. You can use it on the tips. It's actually not going to look hugely different, I don't think. I think we're going to end up looking more like our red flower at the top, where it looks like it might just be one colour. But that's okay. I'm just going to go with it. So it could be that she just hasn't reached that stage yet. It could be that to do with epigenetics, because we're identical twins, so she's often going, well, we're identical, our genes are the same, why this and that and the other. And I'm like, well, genes isn't as simple as I think we used to think. You say, oh, this runs in families, it's genetic and that's that. But of course, just because something runs in the family doesn't mean every person gets it, and not everyone inherits those same genes, of course, if you're not identical twins. But even if you are, you don't always get exactly the same things, you know. And of course there's environmental factors as well, presumably. I don't really know much about it. I think the thing is, a lot of people have said that because it's a women's thing, there's not been very much research done on it, and so we don't know as much about it as we do about, say, other things that affect both men and women, which is quite interesting. But so yes, there are lots of factors that could be influencing, you know. And also I had IVF, so that cocktail of drugs that I had to take might have had some impact on my hormones more long term. Again, that's something that's very isn't studied much. You know, I often wonder whether, because we had IVF, whether that might have a long-term impact on the children, you know. But who knows? I mean, you will never know whether anything that they might happen to have wrong with them in now or in the future will ever was due to that. How would we ever know? This is blood orange. So, you know, it was interesting. But now time for wetting. I'm going to do the centre bit first. I'm just going to blob it, that's a good word, isn't it? I'm sure that's a very official painting art school word, blobbing. These I'm going to just spread from the outside. I like the word spread. It's still not a proper word for doing this, is it? Right, I'm going to hold the page still because it's flapping about, getting on my wick. Getting on my wick? Is that a British thing? Getting on my nerves. I don't know what wick. Was wick a place? Person? I don't know. There we go. It's definitely smoothing it, making it look nice. I'm quite looking forward to trying something like a background with these, like a sunset or something, and then just smoothing it up after. I think it could look really nice. and I haven't interested to see what we're doing on the back of the paper. Got a little bit of wrinkliness, is that the right word? On the back of the paper, particularly on that purple flower where I said there was a lot of water sitting on the paper. It's not surprising, is it, that that would make it more wrinkly. I don't know why it got so watery on that one, but it was a bit strange because I hadn't pushed a button on the water pen or anything. There's some washing done. Washing machine beeping. That's my clothes need hanging up. I'm going to leave it for a bit, although I should get my next load in. Oh, I'll see if anyone moves. Someone might do it. Who am I kidding? Right, we've got leaves now. I'm going to do another green leaf. We had the absinthe, no, the spring green. Here is our spring green I'm going to do for this one. Now, just like the others, a bit of darker green near the vein. And then just gently spread it out towards the edge. Now I was thinking about doing some more autumnal leaf colours, you know, browns and oranges and stuff. We've got an orange flower right here, so I don't know if that's going to quite look right. So let's just put a bit more down there. I'm going to use a yellow on the tips here. We've got no more greens that we haven't used. I think I'll try the jasmine yellow. There's quite a pale yellow again. It's really pale, actually, looking at the picture. It's almost cream, so it might not show up enough. So I'm going to try and put a fair bit down on the page. We'll just see how it works, how it goes. There we go. Just making some space on my desk. There we go. Let's just wet this one. Pop it down the middle. There we go. That's working quite well, actually. The green is pushing its way into the yellow and just blending it quite nicely. I think so, anyway. It's quite nice to try and follow the line of the leaf, you know, I mean the lines that are drawn on the leaf, just to blend it in. I like that. It's quite pale, but that's fine. Now, this leaf here, I was thinking we could try and make another green out of blue, just to make a new colour. We have this quite dark blue here. This is but it's ocean blue, so I think it's got a little bit of green in it, so we'll give it a try. Yeah, it's slightly turquoisey. I didn't mean to go onto the vein there. I'm going to fade it all the way to the edge, I think, because I don't think I want a yellow edge like on this one. I want it to look a little bit different. I guess it'll look more like that one. So fade it all the way to the edge, just a tad, a little bit along here. But I do want it to definitely look darker on the edge of the vein, like that. Okay. So just, sorry, I was thinking about my washing then, it's very exciting. Just draw it to the edge. Now that is really uneven, and I'm actually going to leave it like that and see whether I can blend that out when I add my colour. I think I'm going to use the turmeric yellow. I hear some people say turmeric. I don't know what the right way to say it is. That was a turmeric. Oops, snappy snap. So I'm going to try and put quite a generous amount on the tips, but making sure I cover all of the leaf so that we can turn it green rather than the sort of bluey green. It doesn't matter if the very tips end up being really yellow, as long as it doesn't look like it's yellow with a bit of blue. It just looks like green. I don't mind it looking like green and yellow. There we go. I think that's going to be enough. Excited to try and see if it is. Again, I'm just pushing it along towards the tip. That bit there still looks a bit too blue. I'm going to grab some of these. There's some yellow crumbs there. I was going to grab and try and dissolve into it. Make it look a bit greener. It's very wet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and sort my washing out. When I come back it'll be dry, and I might put a bit more. I quite like it. I'm going to decide when I come back. Come back and I'm looking at this flower here and I'm rather liking it. There's a few areas here that look a little bit blue, but I'm going to leave it. I rather like it. It looks quite almost slightly orangey at the bottom. Looks nice. Right, we've got two left. Let me have a look at these blues. We've got what's this blue? The aegean blue. I'm going to use this with a sort of turmeric-y type colour or something. Or no, I've used that. Maybe ochre. Oh, I'm just trying to sharpen it in the wrong hole of my sharpener, which has no blade in. With these, little tip, if your sharpener gets blunt, swap the blades over if you don't use one of them. Right. What I do though is I take out the one that's dead, blunt, and so that I don't get muddled. If you use both the holes, then obviously don't do that, but I only ever used the small one. The big one, I find I've got some really big pencils which I actually haven't used for ages. They're fun to use, and they don't really fit that well in this sharpener anyway. I tend to sharpen them with my dowel sharpener. They work in there. I'm going to try the yellow ochre. Get it out. Here we go. And give it a sharpen. Do this step. Now I want enough. I'm going to put it over all of it again, so we can change the colour of the blue to green. It's going to maybe look quite similar to that one, I don't know. It's easy to tell until it's wetted. I'm really plastering it on. I want it to look really, I want there to be a lot of this yellowy colour. It's nice. There we go. I put my last load of washing on. I had 3 loads today. It's a lot, isn't it? Because we were out yesterday, we didn't do our towels, which we usually do on a Saturday. So ending up doing them today with the sheets, and we had our basket of clothes was full as well. That was what I just hung up on the airer. The towels are in the dryer already, now the sheets are in the machine. So not what's going on. It's really faded that blue, which is good. It does look quite similar, doesn't it? I think it's okay. Right, just trying to clean off my brush. Okay, I was going to sweep it, but it's wet, so I thought it's better to blow it. This one I think I'm going to do in some browns, just because I can. It's quite far away, and you know. So I'm going to use the espresso brown first. I always used to say espresso. It's very wrong, apparently. Frowned upon, because it's not how you say it. Yes, espresso brown. And I'm going to go along the edge here, like we have been. Just spread out towards the tips again. Just the same thing. Can't decide what to do next though. Let's have a look. I think I might use the burnt ochre. Actually, this is sort of with the oranges in my set. I think it'll work. Just gonna start halfway along. It does look quite orangey. Oh, we need to do this too. And just work through the leaf. It's 11:30. I'm already thinking about lunch again. I'm so hungry today. I can hear the strangest noise in the wall. Sounds like little bits falling. Like little stones or something. I heard it here before. Oh, this is really wet now. There we go. I like that. It's very autumnal looking. Right, we have the stem left. I'm going to start with the cinnamon, I think. Maybe we'll go darker in some areas. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, we will. We'll do the cinnamon for this bit here. That's a bit of leaf that I missed. I'm going to do it in cinnamon. And then I'm going to do a dark brown down there, I think, just so we can use another colour. We've got one brown left that we haven't used. This is the dark chocolate brown. I'm just going to use this for the bottom, just checking you can see, which you can. There we go. Here's our last bit of brushing. Through here. Okay, just going to make sure my brush is thoroughly clean this time because it'll be going away for a while. Well, I don't know how long. And then I will show you the whole finished page. Let's come out a bit. Oh. Let's take the paper away. So I haven't done the little bee at the top, but I'm not going to do it because this is wet. It'll make a mess. So the idea was just to do all these colours in the flowers, so that's what I have done. So there we go. There is our experiment. I've had fun with that. So thank you to the lovely person that sent me the pencils. I still don't know who you are, but I'm really enjoying them. So thank you, and thank you everyone for watching. Hope you have a super day and happy colouring.